I'm Mark Allen, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of SaltwaterAquarium.com. This is Mr. Saltwater Tank, RUF, raw, uncut, first impressions, the show where I call it as I see it. Today we're taking a look at the VCA 11-inch Never Rust tweezers. Okay, my first thought is another tweezer product on the market. This thing immediately, a couple things jump out at me. First, there's no metal on this thing at all, anywhere on this. It's clearly 3D printed, that's what VCA does. And there's no metal, so they couldn't rust because there's no metal whatsoever. Also, something to know about VCA, and it says right on the packaging, it's made in the USA. Not imported, not designed in the USA, and then made elsewhere and brought across. This is 100% made in the USA, so go America. Okay, so this comes in orange and yellow, bright yellow, like fluorescent orange and fluorescent yellow. So if you're a Neptune Systems control freak, it's even gray. So if you're a Neptune Systems freak, fanboy, fangirl, you're gonna have to get some just for that reason because they're orange and gray. All right, so that being said, there's no metal on these things. The pads look like they would hold something. Let me just see. So they're fairly easy to pop off when I pop off the pads. You're probably not gonna be trying to pop off the pads, but I just wanna get a sense of how these things were built. Is that alarming to me? No. They fit on there snugly though. Again, you're not gonna be trying to pop the pads off. So I'm not gonna break it right away because I want to use these things, give it a shot. They have a little bend here. When I squeeze them together, like the rest of them bends here. So I'm curious about how much gripping power I'm actually gonna get out of these things. I'll put it in my tank in a second and we'll see what happens with them. The other thing it said in the packaging, which jumped out at me, was that it's UV-Reactive and it will light up the room super bright under your blue lights, meaning actinic lights of your tank. Okay, so I have a LED light here. Let's fire this thing up and see if we can make this thing glow super bright. I'll be right back. All right, got a LED fixture out, cranked up the Royal channel, cranked up the UV, and yeah, these things are glowing. It looks like you're at a frag swap and you're walking around with like your orange glasses on. So that's kind of cool. I think this may be useful if you're getting down into your tank, especially with your actinics on. Let's say you're searching for a frag and you don't quite know where your tweezers are. You're down in a nook and cranny. You can use this and you can go, oh, okay, it's right here because I can see what's going on because these are kind of lighting the way. So like if you're going after a coral that's fluorescing, it dropped in your aquascape, and this is going to be fluorescing and you can grab it. So that's kind of cool. So they say these things float. Let's toss it in the tank and see what happens and get rid of this weird blue glow. And also going to grab some stuff in the tank and see kind of what the grabbing power of this is and staying power of these things. So first things first, yeah, it floats. No metal on these things, they're floating around. This is kind of cool. Like I'm looking at this like if you're fragging something and you don't have anywhere to put your metal tweezers because they're wet or they're afraid they're gonna fall and bust a coral. I've done that. Like just let these things float around your tank and you can grab them when you need them. They don't need to be dried out. No, that's a waste of your time. They're floating around your tank and you can grab those things. So they definitely float. I'll crank up some royal blues and some UV on the LEDs over my tank and let's see what it looks like as well as how well these things do about grabbing frags. Okay, I've got the royal blues cranked on and I haven't white balanced the camera for the blues, so these things are definitely bright orange underwater. They're not going to be quite as dramatic on the camera because I got to make sure you guys can see the coral, but you get the point here. These things are definitely orange, easy to find. So let me grab some frags here and this big piece of LPS as well. So here's a little frag. This looks like a lepto. Yeah, this is easy to grab. I mean, is it easy to drop? Doesn't take much to drop it, but at the same time, I don't feel like I have to crank on this to get a grip on this frag. So let me do some fine motor type stuff, try to turn this frag plug over and see if I can get it in position. So that's nice. I like that it's flat on the bottom so I can push things down. A lot of times when I try to push a coral like into the sand bed or into rock work, since it's a round tweezer, other round tweezers will make it hard to do, not with this guy. So let's grab this acantho over here that's just on a frame, bring it in. Here's a decent sized LPS piece. I'm not gripping the tweezers very hard at all. I'm really just holding them here. As you can see, they're kind of drifting around in my hand. So it doesn't take much to get a good grip on stuff. I like that. Put that around. Let's grab something beefier. So I'm going to try to expand the tweezers here and pick up this guy. Now this is definitely larger than where these want to expand. And I can still get a good hold on these. Move them around. I'm not gripping very tightly. I don't feel like I'm damaging the coral. So these are definitely getting the job done between a frag on a frag plug, an LPS piece that's sizable, then a larger LPS piece. So would I use these? Yeah, let them float up to the top here because I like that they float. And then I'll get back in camera and give you my final thoughts. We've had a quick look at the VCA 11-inch Never Rest tweezers. I put them in my tank, grabbed some stuff. What's my rundown on these? A couple things. First, I like that it floats. That's useful. I can't tell you how many times I've been working around my tank, fragging with things, and dumped tweezers, bone cutters in the tank, whack! It hits something, causes damage to LPS, or breaks apart some big SPS colony. So I like that it floats. There's absolutely no metal on this thing. That's great as well. It's also made in the USA, which I'm happy about. I'm also happy about this length. It'd be nice if they had like a super long version because I have a deeper tank, but for most people, the 11-inch is gonna get the job done. There's plenty of grabbing power, as you just saw. I can pick up frags, I can pick up large pieces, I can do some fine motor with this stuff, and I don't have to mash on these hard to get good grip. So I like that. That's a nice thing. The glowing orange, glowing yellow, hey look, you know, that's fun. It's gonna help you find some frags in your tank. I mean, again, I could see you have your super actinics on, your UV's cranked up, you're looking for a frag that fell in the aquascape, you can grab these and get in there because this is gonna be glowing. Your frag is probably gonna be glowing. You can see where you're aiming with these things. So overall, these things are less than 20 bucks. Would I pay that for these things? Yeah, absolutely. They're sturdy, they're gonna get the job done. Now, one thing I did wanna do at the beginning of the show was try to break them. You put things in a bucket, in my case, a bucket that I take to maintenance accounts, things get tossed in there, maybe it falls over in the back of the truck, things are gonna get abused. So how much abuse can these things take? Certainly take care of your gear, but this is an RUF show. I wanna see what it takes to break these things. So I'm trying decently hard to break them. I'm twisting it like this, it's not giving. At some point this is going to break. You're probably not gonna do this in real life, but I wanna see what it takes. What does it take? Hang on, home office needs to send me a replacement set because I want to use these things, but let's try to break the model. Okay, that took a lot of force to break these things, way more than you dropping it on the floor or coral smashing it. These things are sturdy. Yes, home office, I want a replacement set. I would recommend this. I would spend the less than 20 bucks because they're gonna get the job done, and I'm supporting a USA business. Good job, VCA. Send me another one. I wish I hadn't done that now. I kind of could use this tomorrow. Oh well, there you go. I'm Mark Callan, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of SaltwaterAquarium.com. This has been Mr. Saltwater Tank RUF, looking at the VCA Never Rest tweezers. I'll catch you in the next. I'm actually really sad that I broke these. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode.